Welcome, visitors and fellow Rotarians. Let's have Judy Basker lead us in the flag salute and the four-way test.
Oh, great. Okay, please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And they have the cheat sheet here for the four-way test, but I brought my own. So, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Lutz Kramer, here we are.
Okay, our watchword for this year is create hope in the world. And I can't think of anyone who exemplifies that any better than Jimmy Carter. So this is one brief quote from Jimmy. I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference.
I'd like to welcome a few visiting Rotarians. We have Frank Metz from the Friday Club. Oh, there he is back there. Welcome, Frank. And then Bill Ertel from our Wednesday Club. Welcome, Bill. And then visiting guest, I think we've got somebody on Zoom. Bill, is that right? Bill from, I heard Minnesota.
Correct.
Welcome, Phil. Thanks for coming. And then let's see, Susan, would you like to introduce somebody? Hey, Brian. All right. And oh, sorry I missed you. Sorry. All right. Okay, how about anybody else? Any other visitors? Over here? All right. All right, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for coming. Well, we move into announcements. I'm going to do just a few quick ones myself. Remember, we're selling the 50/50 raffle cards again, so don't forget those. We're also reinstituting the Polio Plus jars on your table, so every penny counts, whatever you got, chip in. I know Doug's going to talk about it, but we got the mural coming up. And then also Doug sent out an email, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, going to be at the Bear Hotel on September 9th. It's a program in which people get together and build beds for kids in our community. It's a wonderful program. Anyway, so Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Bear Hotel on September 9th. Okay.
Okay. So we started to do a little work out there on the mural at the Glass Forge, and we got the molds. The Glass Forge will be pouring glass into this, and this will be part of the three-dimensional art that goes on the walls. So these are the molds for the murals. There's a few more of them, but I only brought these. We're going to start some of the simple painting a little bit this afternoon if it doesn't rain, and then tomorrow too. So if anybody's interested in painting, let me know. We've got a little bit of ladder work and some simple painting. None of the artistic stuff tomorrow, but just some of the background colors. And then the other thing we need, I can't figure out how to make a joke out of this. Yeah, I'm going to try because some of you I know have had experiences as pole dancing experience at that. I won't talk about which ones of you have done that, but anyway, there's a pole there that needs a little bit of sanding and cleaning up and everything. So I've got some of that, and I don't know if there's a joke in there about pole dancing and this, but so one or two of you could come and do that. We got some rusty pipes we need to get cleaned off. And that the Glass Forge gave me this morning as an example of some of how they're going to do these molds. But basically, it's a depth of clear glass with the color embedded on the bottom, and that sort of gives it a depth and a reflection. And that'll be in these, and then these get mounted on the walls and whatnot. Okay, that's it.
Tommy.
So youth exchange may or may not start for us. Hi, Al. In the fall, we have lots of people here that have participated with us before. And I talked with Ann Bauer, and she's going to have a meeting of everybody that's interested in participating with youth exchange in next week or the week after, so that we can kind of get set up. We need to go into the schools and find and talk with the students and let them know what's going on and what youth exchange is about, which for those of you that don't know, it's a year-long program out of the country. We have partner countries and we send one and they send one. And in our district, we have 72 clubs or something. And I don't know how many clubs will participate, but we might have as many as 40 or 50 students here from other places in the world, which is really good for our students that are here to get to meet them. These kids are just great. They're the cream of the crop. Our kids are the cream of the crop that get selected to go out. So anyway, if you would let me know if you're interested in this meeting and participating, I will make sure you get an invitation of when we put it together. Thank you.
Remember the fellowship tonight at STEAM, which is right next to Climate City, starts at 5. I think there's going to be a fireside at 4. No, there's not, right? Okay. Okay, fireside at 4:30, and then the fun begins at 5. See you there. Okay, fireside at 5 and then 5:30. Okay.
Yesterday I got more peaches. They're kind of right down the road, but it takes a little while to do it. So I have little boxes here of peaches, and they are for the what was that? Polio Plus. And if you want to buy some of these, and we can help with the event. Thank you.
What a way to give. You get some incredible peaches in return. And I'm going to put this in the navigator, but I've talked about, trying to start doing things to kind of address the environmental focus. That's now one of our key areas. So on September 9th, I'll be going to this property called Rogue River Preserve. It's a work party. I go there once a month and we do things like pull weeds and things up. So I think I'm going to invite Rotarians from this club to go with me. Anybody wants to, but I'll provide more information and talk to you about it later. Okay, let's have a program. So I think, Susan, you're going to introduce us, right? Thank you.
For all of you who didn't read the navigator this morning, shame on you, but I will tell you again, Chief Rick Vetter is a former motor lifeboat engineer in the U.S. Coast Guard, Klamath County Reserve Sheriff Deputy, and former volunteer with Westport Fire in Washington, Klamath County Fire District 1 Rural Metro Fire Department, and Rogue River Fire Department. He's also a former EMT Intermediate and has recertified as a National Registry Oregon EMT for the district. He took a 10-year break from all services to work as an operations manager with his family's commercial construction business before attending the RITA, which means Rogue Interagency Training Association Firefighter Academy in 2017, along with attending supervision and leadership courses. He currently is working on a school safety program, Heroes in the Classroom, with District 7 in Grants Pass. Rick and his wife, Jenny, have a combined total of 8 children and 8 grandchildren and have lived in Williams for 17 years. Chief Vetter believes that rural fire districts are the heart and soul of living in a safe community when no other resources are available. Public outreach is critical in making sure that communities are getting the services that are important to them. The goal of his talk today is to outline advantages and disadvantages that small, excuse me, rural fire districts encounter in their role of protecting their communities. He's happy to speak here today and answer any questions. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, everybody. Wow, that was quite an introduction. I definitely sound like a busy person. I'm gonna have to slow down, I tell you. I have a slideshow that we're gonna put behind me. I'm not really gonna point anything out. Just want you to see basically what we do in a rural fire district. A lot of these photos show that our commitment to our community, some of the events we do, it shows our training. A lot of these slides also show that our mutual aid that we do with the other districts when it comes to wildland fire and structure fire. So enjoy the videos. If you get tired of hearing me yak, then you can focus on that. So anyway, I just want to tell everybody, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a really good group. I have been at the Rotary and spoke once before. That was on the Wednesday group. And again, like Susan mentioned, and Susan, thanks for inviting me to speak here today. I started a program which was called the School Heroes in the Classroom, and I presented that a couple of years ago. Just want to let you know that I am still continually doing that. Haven't been able to really get it off the ground. It is something that is a passion to me, to myself, with all the years that I've done in public safety, is to reach out to the children and just kind of show them that, you know what, we are good people, and you know, we care about them and we care about their success. So being that mentor is really important to me. So anybody out there interested in helping a fire chief build a program in Grants Pass, I started it, but just really having a hard time getting it going. So let's talk a little bit about the small fire districts. So literally in the state of Oregon, there's about 309 fire services throughout Oregon, and about 125 of those are volunteers. I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of the fire chiefs around Oregon, kind of hear what's going on in their communities and some of the, you know, the frustrations they have, some of the concerns and needs. One of the biggest ones that we face, obviously, in the fire service today is trying to get volunteers. You know, it's, I remember back in the 80s when I first started in the fire service, being a volunteer was pretty much an easy thing. You know, you show up once a week to training, you pull some hose and you say, okay, we're done, let's go get a beer. And, you know, we sat around and had a good time. As the years gone on, you know, standards have changed. It's a little bit harder now to be a volunteer. There's a little bit more, you know, effort to put forward. Training takes a lot of time, and you know, we live in a world now where we got to be honest. You know, everybody's trying to make a living, and to take your time to volunteer is very, very difficult because it is so much to learn nowadays. The fire service has grown so much from just putting out, you know, structure fires. You know, we've moved on now to being more EMS based and everything like that. So in the rural setting, it's very difficult because you don't really have the tax base out there. You know, the property owners still deserve the same services that they get living in a city. We obviously all, you know, want to know that we have the safe and, you know, secure communities. And I think a lot of that really stems from, you know, your volunteer fire departments. We are literally, like I said, the heart and soul of these small communities. And a lot of the things that I've learned from my life, I'd have to say that I learned by serving my time in the military. Is there anybody else in here that has served in the military? All right, I just want to say to all of you, thank you really for your service. I really mean it. Thank you. I was fortunate. I got to play in the Coast Guard, which was a little tiny little service compared to all the others. But my role, nevertheless, was very important. It was more based towards the community. I spent most of my years, 10 years in the Coast Guard at small little communities off on the coast. And we function just like a fire department. And I learned a lot of knowledge, and I saw that, this service really gives a whole lot. It was very well funded because, it's funded under the federal government. So we always had all the money and we had no problems with manpower or equipment. So moving into the fire service, I don't see that there's no reason why we can't provide that kind of same service. The only downfall is obviously the funding issue. I spend a lot of my time as a fire chief is advocating for my community. I try to seek funding through the federal government, through our state. It's not an easy venture. Nevertheless, we just keep, plugging along. And one of the nice things that has occurred here recently, I don't know if everybody's kind of heard of Senate Bill 762, is kind of state is kind of put upon us. Anybody heard about that one? Okay, well, 762 is a bill there that is going to address more of the wildland fires in Oregon. A lot of money is being put forth to combat fires, try to make more homes fire resilient, they would say, have defensible space. And a lot of that has come onto the fire districts to be able to get these programs out and going. So the state of Oregon has done a wonderful job of offering grant monies to the districts and stuff like that. That is one of the benefits that I like to say about the rural fire departments, even though what we do every day is no different than the city of Grants Pass. We respond to the same kind of calls, traffic accidents, fires. But one of the nice things that a rural fire district is able to do, because we live in such a place that, can start fires so easily, is we get to work a lot with our property owners and teach them how to be good stewards and work together. I know here in Josephine County, and I don't know if everybody knows, but we do have 4 fire districts within the county. We have the Illinois Valley Fire District, which right now is producing a lot of our smoke. Not their fault, but I know they're doing everything they can, and we just, our hearts are with them and for the work they're doing. We also have the Applegate Fire District, which is based out of Josephine or Jackson County, but it does stem over into Josephine County, so they do have residents out there. We have the Wolf Creek Fire District, which is in Josephine County. Right now, they're going through some changes. I haven't heard much more, but I know that the board and the department is trying to get back, and they're having the same issues with staffing and with resources. And then you have obviously us, Williams Fire. We are, I think we're the best fire department around. And it's just, I think a lot of it is just because of the people that we have, the passion that they share for helping their community. And, really when you think about the fire service, the men and women that perform this job, we all appreciate what they do. They work hard. They're there for their community members. And I mean, what a great person to have in your community. I'd like to see more come and volunteer, understand it's not easy. Where do we go as a district? Where does the fire service go when you don't have funding for personnel, and your communities are growing? Where are we going to fill in those gaps? Because the community is paying for a service. And obviously, like me, I have a very deep passion to do the best I can for my community. So these are some of the, these are some of the challenges that I face in a fire district. So this is the reason why I believe that I have to go and search the answers from our leadership, which is our county commissioners, which is our state representatives, even our senators. These are the people that, they're the ones that are elected officials that are supposed to say, hey, you know what, I see the problem, let's fix it. So one thing this group can do here, and all the groups that, come together to make better communities, is start focusing on, hey, you know what about our public safety? What about our fire services, our police departments? They're all hurting for money. And for good reason. I mean, there's a lot of, their expenses now are way out, gas and running costs for your engines and, employees and benefits. It's always a climbing cost, and taxpayers should not be, I don't believe the taxpayers should be the one to fit the bill. We need help from the state and we need help from the federal side. So I do kind of push that. And one thing is I always encourage, people in their community is to go to some of these meetings. How many live in actually a fire district like Applegate, Illinois Valley, live in Williams? We got some Williams people. So most of you people kind of live out in the city or just outside the city? Rural Metro, yes, right on. Okay. I used to work for Rural Metro. I think they're a really outstanding company, and they, they're nationwide. Their standards are the highest you can ask for. So they provide a very good service. Some of the things that we look at though, when we start talking about like Rural Metro in that unprotected area, there's been a lot of talk, and I had I went to the county commissioner meeting yesterday, and out of all the meetings I ever went to, I'm going to tell you, this was probably the best meeting that I've seen. Our 3 county commissioners actually take a step back and say, you know what, maybe we need to start thinking about fire districts. And there's a reason why. I mean, I'm in a fire district, and what I've built with my community and the community support, I mean, it really helps create good community. When you have a strong fire service or public agency within your community that you can come together and talk about the issues in your community, the problems you seek, you have a voice. The thing is right now, Josephine County, and I think for many years, 40 years, ever since I've lived here, they call the area outside of the city the unprotected area. So private fire companies are able to come and they are able to sell subscriptions and all that. And like I said, Rural Metro is, you're not going to ask for better fire companies. So we're very fortunate to have them. I know there is some frustrations amongst, the private fire companies is, do they all hold the same standards? Are they giving you the same service for what they're charging? So, there's that whole issue. Whereas a fire district, you're governed by elected officials that make sure that the money and the service that is being provided to the people are being done, in the best manner. And that's something that you don't necessarily have when you don't have that district. Another thing that creates issues, I think, without having a fire district is you really lose out on a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of grant dollars that go into communities through the fire service for fuel reduction and stuff. And I don't know if you have a neighbor that just doesn't care and, just leaves their place a total mess. If it burns down, oh, well. But to you, I mean, you don't want that. There's really not a whole lot of control that you can have if you're just kind of in an unprotected area. I mean, being that the sheriff's department's, limited on their staff and what they can do. And, it's nice to be able to have a tax-based public safety entity that you can go and to these people and say, hey, we need to do something. I am definitely an advocate for the Williams area. We hold meetings every month. We listen to the community's concerns. We address them, because a lot of times community members say, you know what, I make a phone call to the sheriff, I make a phone call, to the BLM, the Forest Service, nobody answers their phone. So we become that kind of buffer or that person that can reach out to them. So there's other benefits that I like about the fire district that we hold is, we're able to do community trainings. We can do like CPR training, stop the bleed, bring the community in to see them, what their, interests are. So it's that personal relationship that you have with your public agency that really, to me, is it's such a big benefit. And I'm here for any questions. I see you guys have been looking at some pictures there. So Williams Fire Department, we actually have 9 pieces of apparatus. Oh, okay. So you asked how many pieces of apparatus that we have. Yeah. So the Williams Fire Department started out as a structural fire agency, obviously. That's what the taxpayers paid for. So when we came, when we started out, it was just structural engines. We had a tender and 2 engines. And as the wildfire became more of a prevalent problem here, we ended up starting to have to put our resources into buying more wildland. So we have right now about 9 pieces of apparatus, and those are also like our command cars and stuff like that. And yes, it is expensive to keep those things running, let me tell you. Any other questions there for me? Yes, sir. It is getting worse every. Yeah, well, we pre-prepare ourselves we conduct trainings. We do our own in-house training through our own district, and we also we share training with all the other agencies. So we do like a seasonal training with the city of Grants Pass and all the outlying agencies. We kind of get our, kind of get the rust off of us and prepare for that. There's really no way to prepare. I mean, you're always ready to go no matter what it is, whether it's a structure fire or a grass fire. But between inside of Josephine County, the fire chiefs, and also with Jackson County, we come together as a group called the Rogue Valley Fire Chiefs Association. It's a very good group where all these fire districts come together. We sit down in meetings every month, and we kind of strategically, look at things, like the fire season coming up. We look at the weather patterns. We bring in all kinds of people. We bring in all kinds of experts on the fire from the Forest Service, from the weather, National Weather Service. So we kind of get a game plan, and that's about the best we can do. Yes. Sure. Sorry. Yes.
I read recently that going to the house was 5, you seem to have no vegetation, like a 5 around the house. Do you have an opinion on whether that's a viable thing, or whether it's outrunning, rushing to get a house out of town?
Yeah. I have a really strong opinion that I think that we all should look at defensible space around our home. I think that's what is really saving homes. Believe it or not, you'd be surprised, but when that fire, a lot of homes actually get started from like spot fires. So when you don't care for your home, you got stuff growing around it, you got pine needles all over your roof. That little ember hitting the top of your roof could be what causes your fire. So making sure you just have a clean surrounding. And even like I said, I know that some of the firefighters, Jenny, you've been out on the fire doing structural protection over at the IV. And some of the homes that she's seen, they literally look at it and they can say, we can save this home because it's, it's nicely manicured. They followed the 30-foot, defensible space around their home. That one they'll defend, but they may go to another property that may have, a pile of wood against the house, weeds growing. They won't even mess with it. They won't even mess with it. So to save your home, it really, it really needs to be manicured quite well. And that's possibly, would save that home. And there's probably some other conditions, too, that, obviously they weren't in a wooded area, so they didn't have like, trees or anything that that could cause a problem. But no, I honestly agree that taking care of your property, at least the first 30 feet of it coming out from the front, will really help drop the cause of fire. Hey, there I am right there. There's a lot of pictures of me. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, shout out to everyone. So Ash Martell is, she is our new community relations coordinator. So Ash, Ashley's getting her fill into the fire service, but anyway, she's been doing a lot of the community outreach and stuff, and I just want her to come and meet the group, so feel free to ask her any questions, give her any words of encouragement, that would work too, so thank you. And then Jenny Vetter, which we share the same name because we actually were married. Jenny's one of those go-getters in the fire service. She started a couple years after I volunteered. She kind of wanted to support her husband. So she went to the fire chief and said, hey, I kind of would like to do this. And he said, well, I don't see why not. And now she works for 3 fire districts here in Josephine County, and she works for AMR Ambulance. So yeah, I don't see her very much. So that's why I brought her along. So, and I also want to point out, I got a couple board members that are here and for the Williams Fire District. So Brian Barton, thank you. And Mr. Bill Ertel, he's been a board member for, since what, you're 18? Over 12 years. Yes. 5 fire chiefs. Yeah. So thank you, Bill and Brian, for your service, because it really, you know, it is our elected officials that make us as good as we are. Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, so Firewise is kind of new out in Williams. We actually are starting our first one, so I don't really have a whole lot to tell you for what I got going on with our community. But the program itself, I believe, is a very good program. It kind of brings neighbors together, you know, to kind of help each other to keep their properties clean. It only takes, I believe, 6 properties. It's either 6 or 8, but if you can get 6 or 8 of your neighbors to come together, 8, yeah. There's some other programs out there that are obviously coming available to people, and one of them is the Survey 123, which we're starting to do through the Oregon State Fire Marshal's office. So you'll start hearing about that one, where we'll come out and do a survey on your property. There has been some talk that there's some grant money that's available through that program. I have not heard that there's any kind of grant money for the Firewise. So was there? Okay. I know it was on a kind of like on a point system or a cash system that you get so many points for doing cleanup, and it's not a whole lot of work. I you know, from what they said, you do one annual event with your community, and then you do so many hours of cleanup. And but I think all these programs are really good. I mean, I think anytime we can get together as community members and say, you know, let's protect our home, because we're not going to get rid of the fires. I mean, it's obvious that these things are here to stay. I mean, I remember years ago, you would like, wow, what's the smoke in here? Oh, it's a fire. Now it's like, if you don't see smoke in the air, it's like, wow, is summer over? So, yeah.
I worked for several years at Rogue Community College that has a fire training program, which is over at the Table Rock campus. And I know they were a prestigious program and had a lot of intern opportunities and so forth. Even though they're in Jackson County, are you ever able to get interns and some free help? And if you're not, could I help you organize that?
So is this through the fire science program for like the student firefighters? We'll always take anybody that's interested. To be honest with you. I think a lot of times is for a lot of the students, they usually end up, some of the other fire departments have student programs, sleeper programs, and they kind of get those. We actually have one volunteer that is going through RCC right now. So she's a student enrolled in the fire science, and she's on Williams. So yeah, we will take anybody that is looking for experience, and they don't have to live in Williams. Obviously, like I said, it's hard to get volunteers, so we kind of have to, you know, spread our wings a little more. Yes. Oh yeah. And I think it really helps. I mean, if you're going to go through I went through the fire science program, and I don't think I would have been able to be successful if I didn't be a part of a fire agency. So Yes, Mr. Mark Jones. Do we have anything in place? Ah, he's good. He's good. So actually, so the Williams Fire Department, we were very gracious. We ended up with $190,000 some odd dollars in a fuel, community, wildfire risk reduction program. So this program we're putting together, it's in cooperation with Applegate Fire District. So we partnered up. We're going to be having a chipper program, which we'll be able to just go to somebody's home and just, we're not going to do like days worth of work, but we know we'll do a little bit of chipping to help out. We also have a dump trailer program that we're going to be putting together, which we just basically will stage dump the trailer out and people can put their yard debris in there. And then we have a masticator for a tractor, which will be able to pick out like blackberries and other things on the roadways, you know, up people's driveways where it's difficult to get trucks. So yes, Mark, to answer your question, we got a lot of things on the foreground. Right now we're in fire season, so it's kind of hard. We can't run any equipment and things, but I'm very excited about it. And like I said, I really very thankful that the state of Oregon, through Senate Bill 762, and if you haven't heard about it, you might have heard the first part. That was the fire mapping that came out, and then that all kind of went away because it was like, yeah, caused a lot of controversy. But 762 is here to stay, but some of it is there are some benefits in it, and one of them is these programs that are coming to the communities. And again, like I said, I'm not sure how it works out in the unprotected area. Like I said, where you don't have a fire district. I don't know if you guys are able to get the grants or anything, or if you go through other community efforts, but I know out in Williams and some of the other fire districts, we can pull it just through our own fire district. So that kind of makes it easier. So any other? Yes. I'll get out of here.
I don't quite understand the funding bureaucracy. I know that rural metro has a subscription service. Do you have a subscription service?
No, we are actually, so ours is, we are a tax-based fire district. So yeah,
Okay.
so I think like you're saying with like rural metro, you have to pay like for a subscription. Yeah, it's because under your county taxes, you're not paying into a tax or into a fire district, or the county doesn't have a fire department. So it's probably your insurance that says you have to have some sort of fire protection.
Well, I'm in the city, so I
Oh, okay.
don't worry about
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
But I know countywide fire district, I am a firm believer we should have one.
Yeah.
How would that affect you, your Williams?
It wouldn't affect us at all because we're already an established tax district. So
So local Williams people paying property taxes.
yeah,
And then you get other grants through federal and. state,
federal and state, correct.
Private foundations.
Yeah, donations and things. Yeah, that's how we kind of work on, you know, our. So that was, and I'm glad you brought that up because again, this is going to be coming up more and more. I know, Mr. Mark Jones knows a lot about this, been working on it a long time, but you know, Josephine County is very unique. I've never been in a county. I've been in a county that kind of has so many different, you know, variations, but, you know, unprotected areas, that's basically what it is, unprotected. And like I said, very fortunate that you have a company like Rural Metro that, you know, they serve everybody, even if they don't, you know, even if they don't get paid. Now they may turn around and bill you if you're not one of their subscribers, but it's nice to be able to have that kind of, you know, agency. How long that goes, I don't know. Now's a good time. Like I said, the county commissioners are now looking at this, and I think this is a good time to get the community to go to these county commissioner meetings and find out more about, hey, what's this whole fire district thing about? Like I said, I'm very fortunate, very proud to be a part of that fire district. I feel like I have a really, you know, a real closeness with my community. And that means a whole lot. I mean, especially where we are today. I mean, we're not only dealing with problems with fire, but, you know, there's other problems out there. We got drug problems. We got people living in the mountains and hills and, we just had a situation out in Williams not too long ago that, I had a property owner call the fire department and say, I've called the sheriff's department over and over and over. We've called BLM. Nobody answers our call. The sheriff can't do anything. This guy is living on BLM property. He's threatening people. He started 2 fires. I know. I remember the fires. I was on both of them. And they're saying, well, why can't you do something, chief? He's going to burn down our community. I said, I'll tell you what, I don't have the authority to arrest somebody, but I do understand that this is a concern to the community. So I asked the community member, give me a list of everybody that's being affected by this guy. So I get 2 pages of property owners and they're all with addresses and phone numbers. So I made some phone calls and to the sheriff's department, and their hands are kind of tied too, because he hasn't committed a crime. He's on BLM land. He's not, he's not on private property. So there's limitations on what the sheriff can do. I can't speak for the BLM. But anyway, it came to the point where community members were really to the point where they said, we're gonna go up and take this guy out. We're tired of it. He's threatening people. He's coming on our property. He's yelling and screaming. He's screaming in the middle of the night. He's shooting guns. This guy is. So I called Sheriff Daniel and basically said, Sheriff, I just want to let you know that the community's getting ready to go and take somebody out. Well, okay, the sheriff does not want that in his county. So Sheriff Daniel came out and he brought the BLM officials and we sat down at the fire station. That's why I said I believe the fire station is a place that the community comes together for problems. And we sat down and everybody had a say and it got a process going, and the gentleman is no longer up there. And he actually ended up assaulting somebody after he got his notice to leave. He went and tried to, I guess he hit somebody in the head with a hammer. So he got arrested, and where he's at now, I don't know. The thing is the guy, he's been in the community for a long time. We felt that there's some issues that went on. I don't know if it was drug related. I don't want to get into what's going on, but he has changed. I don't know if it's mental issue or drug issues, but there's people out there that, they need help. And my thing with him it wasn't only that he was threatening the community, but, he could have been hurt himself, so, it was just a bad situation all around. And so those are some of the things that, we deal with out in the rural areas. We don't have, all the city, services. So it's a little bit, communities got to really, they got to be a little bit more assertive on, getting things done. And sometimes that's what it takes, is everybody coming together. And that's why I said I love groups like this, because you guys come together and make the world a better place. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Rick. And thanks to the board members who came, and also the staff. I see we lost one already. I assume she's out on a call. Yeah. How about Dawn and Kelly? I think we're in for a treat.
We're the co-MCs today, but Kelly, what are you doing with your feet? Have you looked at it out there?
We need rain. I'm doing a rain dance. I would like everybody to stand up right now and do a rain dance with me. We want these firefighters to not have to do it all. Yeah. All right, Brenda, you need to stand because you're the queen. Yes. We need you to be doing a rain dance with us. Bring that rain on down. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Isn't she something? All right. What we have to say is this is kind of a shameless plug that Kelly and I are doing for Let Us Entertain You. You'll see posters on your tables. This is a fundraiser for the Grants Pass Museum of Art that's going to happen at the PAC on September the 16th. And
You're in luck because Kelly and I are the co-MCs. All right, so we're auditioning actually today for this, right, Kelly? Yes.
Shoe in.
And what are we calling this?
I don't know, the Two Stooges? Possibly.
How about from the sublime to the ridiculous?
Well, I'd go with Cheech and Chong. We could go on.
All right, so what we have today is we are going to introduce two entertainers because this is what we're going to have to do. All right, so we'll start with the sublime, and this is a poetry contest, actually. And so we're asking our president, Jim, to come up and recite a sublime poem.
Okay.
Or on the ridiculous side. It isn't original. Okay, it's called If Only for a Day. Have you ever woken from the strangest of dreams that today is a day you could be perfect, controlling the words, controlling the thoughts, stopping the unstoppable, that never-ending noisemaker of one's internal dialogue, heeding the oath of all good doctors that first we do no harm, aligning action with intent. So the only action taken is to do what is necessary, what is right, what is good. Body becomes mind, mind becomes body, led by the steady in and out of synchronous breathing, a perfect day to be perfect. And then a wooden bedpost does not yield right away to the oncoming route of a big toe, resulting in a pain disproportionate to the banality of the accident, unleashing an avalanche of cursing, expletives, and sacrilege, angry for being so careless, outraged at the ferocity of the pain. Instantly, perfection is lost. Oh, well, a lot to ask. Maybe tomorrow.
And he is the poet who wrote that. So that's talent. All right, now
We have to wonder if the toe problem was maybe something self-inspired.
all right, and next, the ridiculous or more ridiculous, we have Lutz Kramer giving us a limerick.
Okay, this was a tough kind of a thing to work on because they said do a limerick, but don't take it too far into the crude end of it. But make it a little bit body. So I didn't come up with this one. If I wish James were on Zoom because he and I have batted things back and forth many times. In fact, ask him about the band at the Waldorf Astoria sometime. He's got a great one for that. I've always loved limericks. I had a chance while I was at a conference in San Antonio, Texas, to go to this little bar down there. Actually, it's not a little bar, it's a nice sized one, where they have a limerick contest. And my friends that I was with said, hey, you got to get up there and do that. So I batted back and forth limericks with this other guy for a while. Finally got to the point where neither of us could come up with another one. And so the person who was running the show had been just sitting there relaxing the whole time while we were doing all of his work. So I came up with one on the spot that was something, I hope I can remember it enough. When you've done all the limericks you know, then it's time to get on with the show. So show us some class and get off your ass, or all of these people will go. And brought the crowd down with us. But anyway, my limerick that's kind of a mid-range limerick is, there was a young lady from Norway who hung by her heels in the doorway. She said to her man, get off the divan. I think I've discovered one more way. And on the way in this morning, I was thinking about these two and I said, I'm going to do a limerick for them. So two ladies named Kelly and Dawn were playing croquet on the lawn. They played through the flowers and chatted for hours until all the vino was gone. I have autographed copies for both of you.
I just want to say that's right up there with your Timbuktu.
All right, while we're doing happy bucks, you'll see on the table little sticky notes, and you can tell they came from me because it's a winery. But anyway, put your favorite of these two talented gentlemen on their vote, and then put them in the basket, fold it, because, and then we're going to have Price Waterhouse or Arthur Anderson certify those. And then whoever is the winner tonight at STEAM will have a free drink on us. And whoever is the runner-up will also have one.
Yes. Yes, the consolation prize, a free drink. So you can't lose. All right, everybody. And we expect shamelessly for Lutz and Jim to vote for themselves. Okay, get on it. And while they're doing that, let's talk happy bucks. Oh, and we've got a card drawing. Yes, okay. You want me to?
All right, we're going to see all the cards were sold after. Okay, there we go. 3 of hearts. Anybody? Anyone? Hey, Brenda, look at my 4 cards.
All right, Dawn got them. Oh, I know what you're doing with your money. We're going to buy drinks. All right, let's start with happy bucks. I'm walking on over to you.
I've got a couple happy bucks. My son Chris has been in Washington, D.C. doing an internship with some House representative up north, Bonamici, something like that. So he's coming back today. Beb's picking him up right now, or he's probably already got him. So it's really going to be thrilling to listen to him and his experiences from Washington, D.C. and some of the things he had to do. He's got a claim to fame on one of those strange channels on TV where you can watch the different proceedings in Washington, D.C. number 29 or something, but he's in the background taking notes for his senator. And that was one of the things he had to do was transcribe meetings to give notes to her about different subjects. So that's going to be interesting. And then another happy buck for an update, the Hillcrest House, some of you donated furniture for that. We did interviews for potential participants Monday, and we've settled on 5 people, and they'll be moving in a week or 2. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for that. And then one other thank you. A couple people warned me that it's going to rain, which is nice. So we won't be painting today or tomorrow, but we'll paint Saturday if anybody wants to come out and help paint Saturday.
So these rain dances may have paid off. Who's next?
On the tables, we've got the Dream Big sweepstakes again for Banner Bank. The happy news is that we've had our 3rd drawing. The first one actually was somebody from Eagle Point that won. The second one was from Southern California. The third one was from Grants Pass. So everybody do your QR codes. You can actually sign up daily. There is absolutely no obligation. You do not have to be a Banner Bank client. As a matter of fact, the gal that won was not. She only entered once and won $2,500. Don't forget, the grand prize is either $100,000 toward a tiny home or $75,000 in cash. So it can go a long ways, but easy to do.
Hey, happy bucks? How about sad bucks? We hope we don't have any.
They're not sad bucks. I want to give $20. Thank you so much for showing up. I thought it was a great program, and thanks for getting him to speak and coming. I always feel good when I hear these stories of communities pulling together to solve their own problems. I think it's wonderful. So thanks.
I have 5 happy bucks. Ditto. Thank you for all you do. And for anybody who does a job that's dangerous and puts your security at risk for me, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anybody else? No? Oh, okay, it looks like we've got Deb.
Hi, everybody. I am
Yourself?
Zooming. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I am Zooming from Bend, and that's part of my Happy Buck source. In the month of August, I've been able to see all 4 of my grandchildren. We took a trip to Michigan where we saw our granddaughters, sent them off to college. One went to New York, to Columbia, the other to Michigan State. And then we went and sailed with our friends on Lake Michigan for a few days, came back, and I turned around and came up to Bend and have been up here with the boys since last week. And it's been a little less smoky up here, so that's been really cool. Happy Bucks also for the Hillcrest House. Awesome. Congratulations, Doug. That has been a project that just has touched so many hearts. Rain, yes, let's have rain. Fire station, you firefighters are amazing. We just sold, yesterday we closed in the house out in the Applegate, so that's another Happy Buck source. And we had the volunteer firefighters over protecting our property once, and I will never forget that. Seeing those firefighters, I cried and hugged them and took them cookies. They do make such a difference, and so kudos to all of you. You're amazing. So, and last and not least, Laurel picked peaches for me from a distance. So Laurel, you're awesome. Thank you very much. And for all that, I'll give you 50 Happy Bucks. Thank you.
All right, looks like it's back to you.
Well, once again, another great program. Thanks again to everybody for coming. Next week, Dr. Bruce Murray is going to do his vocational, so show up for that one. I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. Actually, Beth Walker would like us to give this thing away. If anyone's interested, it is the objective of Rotary with, I don't know, I haven't read it to tell you the truth. Anyway, but it's been somewhere on her house. And if anyone's interested, I'll tell you what, I'll just leave it up here. If you like it, come and claim it. And with that, the thought for the day, this is a quotation from Mother Teresa, who says that the miracle is not that we do the work, but that we are happy to do it. Thank you.